Okay, so thank you very much for being here.
Of course.
Hi, everyone. We're here at the Leapwing Audio booth in NAMM 2020, and we're very lucky to have our first guest. This is Scotty Banks. He's a great mixing, mastering engineer, right? You're located in?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. How is the scene in Las Vegas?
It's interesting because it's changing a lot. There's not a lot of studio stuff
Right.
there because everything is club-based.
Yes.
But the underground scene is kind of gaining momentum. So it's kind of strange right now because the club life is still huge, but there's kind of this underground movement happening with a lot of really good producers where it's starting to, the momentum is shifting a little more.
But is it more like driven towards like rock, techno, club music, dance music,
It's
reggaeton?
like 90% dance music.
Okay, that's interesting. I've always
Other
wondered.
than like the Killers and Imagine Dragons,
Yes.
there's very little rock stuff coming out of there.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, it's a product of the scene where you're at. I
Yeah.
mean, I would be expected. So we have you right here because you have been using Leapwing Audio products for a while now. You're a friend and family. So please walk us through your experience with Dynwon. We just released about a few months ago Dynwon 3.
Yes.
From your experience being a user of Dynwon 2, moving on to Dynwon 3, how do you feel about it? What's from the new things? How do you like it? Are you happy?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't remember what it's called. The like highest quality.
Yes, the
mode
master
for-
cube.
Yes. I don't know why. I can't explain it. But just running that offline when I export something,
Yes.
there's like a little bit added extra
Yeah,
quality
like
to the song.
cherry in the top.
Yeah, and it's nothing that I can actually like find a specific reason.
Yes.
But when I compare the other one, the high quality, whatever, and
Ultra
that,
Q
and
with
export
master.
both, there's just something extra added to the song that you can't just do.
Are you working this is for mixing or mastering or both? Do you say?
For mastering.
For mastering.
So I use Dyn1 for kind of two separate things a lot.
Okay.
One that I've used it for a really long time. From the very first time we got the demo version.
Early from Dynwon 0.
Yeah. I've used it like at the very end of my mastering chain.
Okay.
Especially for stereo masterings. If I get to a point where the song is like 99% done, but I need a little bit of push on the low end,
Okay.
I use it to expand like the tail of the kick.
Yes. Okay.
It works better than any other multiband dynamic anything.
I agree. Yeah.
So like that's where putting that on the end, pushing below like 80 hertz to get some power, and then putting it on that master quality
Yes.
at the end, huge.
Wow.
And that's a big thing that I've used it for a long time, but now there's like that extra little bit that I can
Yes.
pull out of it that just finishes everything off perfectly.
That's
amazing.
amazing. And how do you find, because here at Leapwing, the guys try to just really listen to everyone's feedback, not only from like us, the mixing and the mastering engineers who are very demanding in all of our things.
Yeah.
Like I still wanted larger faders, but anyway. But also to just the regular folk that got our product and talked to us on Facebook. So
Yeah.
the added feature, which is like you can now sweep and change your crossfade
Yes.
frequency. How's that working for you?
That's amazing,
Yeah.
especially for like what I was saying with expanding the low end.
Yes.
Because when it was fixed at 160 or whatever it was, sometimes that doesn't work depending on the key of the song or what the bass is doing. So now if I need to find whatever the sweet spot is, I don't have to think about using that plus another tool or doing some kind of splitter in the DAW or
Right.
something. It's I think that was my favorite new feature, just being able to use only 3 bands or using just the low one at whatever 100 hertz or something.
And then you can also now repurpose the next one for
Yeah.
more low end control.
Exactly.
So then you can really focus on your low end
Yeah.
and with much more bands, and then use
Yeah.
all the artificial intelligence from the plugin to get that going. My favorite feature ever is the CenterSide
Yes.
thing. So basically before, Dynwon was only being used for left and right processing, but now we're able to use CenterSide, which is grabbing the technology from the other two plugins, which are Stage 1 and Center 1. They've analyzed, and now you can really get some parallel processing on the CenterSide. So being a mastering engineer, how do you find that? Do you use a lot of CenterSide processing?
Yeah, well, especially for the third time for the low end thing.
Yes.
Because then if there's some low end information on the sides that I want to keep, but I don't want it to move, then just in the mono, I can then push the kick and the bass without whatever's happening on the sides also jumping up.
Yes.
And then also on the top end, using that to expand anything on the top, like hi-hats or something.
Yes.
If there's an interesting synth that I want to move more,
just that airy
do it on the
bit,
side.
Airy bit on the side, and it just opens up a lot. Yes, so. I find that amazing. So, and then how, this is the thing that a lot of people talk to us, and it's like, I find that whenever you drop Dyne 1 into your processing, it's like it's already working.
Yeah.
Which is sort of scary, because it makes you feel like it's like, oh, now what I do. But how do you find yourself using the presets?
I actually don't.
You don't?
Only because I kind of get lost sometimes in, it does work so well right away.
Yes,
and I feel like I'm cheating by doing that.
I agree. Same thing happens
So it
to me.
seems silly sometimes, but like sometimes I'll go through presets just to get an idea, but then I'll reload the default.
Tweak.
Yeah.
So you just basically look at the answers from your test, and then you start from default, and then you fill
Try
in
to get back to that, but in whatever way I need to get there.
That's hilarious. But it's a thing that I really like. And a lot of the presets with this new algorithm and the new thing that has been added to this 913 has just, it feels like cheating.
Yeah.
But we do encourage people, just use them because they're amazing. And if you just want to redo the test like Scotty does, well, that's okay. All right. So anything else you want to add in terms of like the new features that Dyne 1 has brought?
I think with the adjustable crossovers, one thing that I always used it for before, but had less control, was for controlling like low mids on vocals.
Okay.
But it was always fixed. So if the vocal went out of that range, it kind of stopped working. So now being able to figure out where I need to control and use it the same way. Because I like to do that a lot. Controlling like between 2 and 500, whatever gets kind of weird on the vocal.
Yeah, like boxy.
And and having that control, especially like with the super fast, like instant attack, if I need to, it's so, the thing with it being so quick, like you put it on there and it's like instantly working. And I feel like I should be doing more sometimes.
Yes, we go back to that. And then again, you have that range that you can set, so the compressor is really like working in that space where like it's really controlling, and you can be so subtle with your ratio as well that it feels very natural and very smooth.
I love something about, I don't know what's happening behind the face, but using it not in parallel, but thinking about it like parallel, with the ratio like 1.2.
Okay.
With the threshold way down. So it's the same idea as if I was doing more and blending it in. And I can get a way better result with Dyne 1 than any other multiband compressor.
That's interesting. Well, most multibands will just pump it so much that...
And the attack and release ranges are super helpful.
They're not
because
enough.
So,
yeah, absolutely. And then also the fact that you can set your detector to either peak or RMS. Because most of the times I'm using a multiband, but I'm like, I don't understand how the multiband is understanding or processing or identifying the signal that I'm getting through. So it's like, I've come to realize, obviously with time, but you got to really dive into your multiband processors. You got to understand, oh yeah, this one is going to be really good for drums. This one is going to be really good for your mix bus or for your vocals. But then it's like you can have them to work in several instances because there's no way to know how they're detecting the signal that is coming through.
And that's what, this is so diverse. You can use it in like 5 different places on a mix and the master. And I don't feel like I'm doing the same thing on everything.
No, definitely not.
Especially with like the peak and RMS detection, using it, if I want to pull a kick out of a stereo master, like having it on peak, super fast attack, find the range, it's perfect every single time.
Smacks it. Like I was telling Scotty before we started that I'm actually using it just to drive 808s. So because you can really, and now there's an added feature which is the global trim, where you can go -50 or you can go +50, and then you can really increase the signal that is going like +50 dB. That's a lot. So you can really just hit it, and then if you want to have a lot of definition on your 808, now you can focus that and just crank the hell out of it. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Scotty, thank you so much. You've been great.
Thank you.
For being a loyal customer, and then
Always.
just happy to see that you're bringing really high quality technology and adding really cool features to the dance music and the EDM community in Las Vegas.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. So happy to be with us. Bye-bye.
Bye.